UFC 317 is this weekend. We're going to go through the entire main card, giving you my picks and predictions for every single fight. And if you're going to bet, please go to my community post and check out who I am picking. I am always above 500 average. Some say I am better than James Krause. I just don't get caught. I promise you, if you bet, you're going to win some money if you just look at my picks. I go pretty good. UFC 316, I did pretty good. UFC 315, I did pretty good. UFC 313, I did pretty good. Check out my picks if you are going to bet some money. Now, starting off with the first fight on the main card, we have a banger. Payton Talbott versus Felipe Lima. These are both great prospects for the UFC. Both of these guys are going to do some fun, exciting things in the bantamweight division in the near future. But as of right now, if I had to put money on this fight, I am going with Felipe Lima. Payton is a good striker. He's got good knockout power. He looks good on the feet. He almost looks too cool to be fighting, and that's his problem. He got out-wrestled, out-grappled by Barcelos in his last fight. He did not look good at all. Given that he was on like a 4-fight win streak or something, 4-fight win streak, and that Cameron Simon knockout, you thought, oh my God, this guy's like the next Sean O'Malley. And then he got out-wrestled by Barcelos, and it looked like he did not even want to be there. That's why I am favoring Felipe Lima in this fight. Felipe Lima is like a Paul Hughes, but in the bantamweight division. If y'all don't know Paul Hughes, he's the guy in the PFL who fought Usman Nurmagomedov, the Irishman. Felipe Lima is a great kickboxer. He has good grappling, but his BJJ is phenomenal. He knows how to attack the back. He is constantly looking for submissions. Even if you look at his significant strikes, he's not that high when it comes to significant strikes per minute compared to Payton. But when you look at his grappling, it's there. He averages 1.71 takedowns per 15 minutes and threatening submissions all the time, 1.14 per 15 minutes. I know this is a risky bet for a lot of people because you had the hype behind Payton. You saw his flash knockouts. A lot of people might not know Felipe Lima, and the odds don't even say anything. I imagine Payton might be a slight favorite just because of his crazy knockout wins, but I promise you this, Felipe Lima, if he can grab a hold of Payton or even mix in the grappling with the striking, he will beat Payton Talbott. Now, if Payton can keep this on the feet the entire time, Felipe could lose this fight. I'm not thinking that the reach is going to be that much of a problem. Payton has a 2-inch reach, but if Payton can start stepping on the outside, throwing long body kicks and playing at range, Felipe could lose this, but I am putting my money on Felipe because I truly think Payton, there's no way Payton's grappling has improved that much since January, and I believe Felipe is just overall a better fighter, and if I had to put money on it, I'm choosing the guy that can strike a little bit, grapple a little bit, and even threaten the submissions a little bit, rather than a 90% striker and a 10% defensive grappler, right? Going into our second fight, the flyweight fight, this is going to be fight of the night. I guarantee you this. This will be fight of the night. Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van. A lot of people are hating on Brandon Royval. I think they forget that he's won his 5 out of his last 6 fights, and his only loss was to Pantoja. Brandon Royval, he might not be the most flashiest striker or craziest grappler or has that knockout power, but he edges out every single round by overwhelming you with punches and with the grappling, and that's how he wins. Yes, his last 2 fights have been split decision wins, Brandon Moreno and then the Taro Japanese guy that came over. He looks good, and he can overwhelm you at time, and he's the number 1 ranked flyweight fighter right now. Joshua Van's coming off that good win against Bruno Silva in his last fight. I think he's ranked like 11th or 12th, but this is a big jump up for Joshua Van. This would be a great win for him if he can beat Brandon Royval. I just think sometimes when you take fights too soon, it is way too soon. You don't really get any development. We haven't really seen much grappling from Joshua Van. If I had to take, a bet, if I had to be honest, I think Brandon Royval could probably out-grapple Joshua Van and threaten him with submissions. That's why I'm edging with Brandon Royval. Pause. I think Joshua Van is just taking this fight too soon. He's jumping from rank 12th to 13th all the way up to number 1. His last fight was against Bruno Silva, who wasn't ranked in the division. This is a big jump, and Brandon Royval has shown good skill. He's beaten good fighters, beating someone like Brandon Moreno, who has that championship skill, and having a competitive fight against Pantoja. Brandon Royval, he might not be the most exciting or liked flyweight fighter, but he has skill. He has good grappling, and I think that's what you'll see in this fight. I think Joshua Van, he's a great boxer. He's a great inside boxer. He lands 8 significant strikes per minute, so he's just constantly landing combinations on you. However, Brandon Royval's got that overall wrestling and good skill. Brandon Royval is similar to like a TJ Dillashaw in a way, right? Where he's got pretty good striking, good footwork, but he's also got good wrestling, and he'll just overwhelm you throughout the fight. And that's why I think Brandon Royval will win this fight. He's the number 1 fighter. Also, this is a short notice fight for Joshua Van. Joshua Van's coming in on a 3-4 week notice, maybe shorter than that. Brandon Royval's been in camp. He was supposed to fight Beneil, Kopp. He couldn't. I think Brandon Royval wins that fight. Going into Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano for the featured fight. I love this fight, but I hate it at the same time because I feel like if this fight maybe happened 2 or 3 years ago, it would be more exciting, but now it kind of feels like both of them are kind of old. Renato Moicano did have that crazy streak, but he just lost to Makhachev, so now it feels like his title shot potential is probably gone. And Beneil Dariush coming off 2 back-to-back knockout losses to Oliveira in the first round and Beneil Dariush in the first round from a flying knee. I just think this matchup isn't that exciting. However, I am favoring Renato Moicano. I think Beneil Dariush is an old man. For some reason, people love Dariush because at one time they had this idea of like, oh my God, if he fights Islam, he has the takedown defense and he has the power on the feet and he has the striking, he has the grappling. He can be the one to beat Islam. That fight never happened. And then whenever Beneil Dariush started going on that win streak and before he fight Oliveira, everybody said the same thing. Well, Beneil Dariush has the striking, so he'll be able to match Oliveira, and he's got good grappling, so Oliveira won't be able to do anything to him on the ground. And look what happened. Oliveira knocked him out because Beneil Dariush is an old man that can't move his head off the center line. And when he does throw, he just throws straight bombs, and he's just using his cardio to outlast anybody rather than technique. It's not like he's striking like Ilia Topuria. I feel like Beneil Dariush is just a wild man, and that's how he wins. And that's why he has such a fan base. But even when he fought like Tony Ferguson, like he didn't beat Tony on the feet. No, he had to use the grappling. And I don't think Beneil Dariush is going to be able to beat Renato Moicano on the ground. Because did we just see what Renato Moicano did to Benoit Saint-Denis on the ground and Jalen Turner on the ground? Benoit Saint-Denis got almost gone. Like he was getting beat up in the cage against Moicano. Renato Moicano will win this fight. I see this fight being a grappling heavy fight. I don't know if this will stay on the feet much for too long. I think Renato Moicano is going to want to test the grappling from Beneil Dariush. I think he's going to want to get on the inside, start looking for the underhooks, look for the single leg, try and get Beneil to the ground, try and get Beneil maybe even to pull guard. Then he can get into guard and just land big punches. Renato Moicano is a big ground and pound type of guy. Pause. And I think he'll win this fight. Also, they are the same age. I just feel like Dariush, he has like no skill. And I feel like Renato Moicano is finally getting into this like stage where he's getting better. He's developing more skill. Although, yes, Dariush, he's got good wins and stuff, but like, man, I just don't trust Dariush. Like, the Gamrot win was really nice. He looked good on the feet there. He defended the takedowns. And the Tony Ferguson win is like, that don't matter. Diego Ferreira, like, Scott Holtzman, like, come on. These guys are not the two good people. Okay, the Gamrot is a good win, but besides that, come on, man. I mean, these were terrible losses. I just think Renato Moicano is going to win this fight. He looks better. And if you look at Renato Moicano's resume, it's way better It's way better than Beneil Dariush's. Benoit Saint-Denis win, Jalen Turner win, Drew Dober win, Brad Riddell win. These are way better wins than Scott Holtzman or Gamrot and Benoit is like kind of tied, but I got Renato Moicano winning. He is a slight favorite in this fight. He is a minus 162. Now in the co-main event, Alexandre Pantoja, my boy, versus Kai Kara-France. I think Pantoja is the most underrated champion in the UFC. I truly feel that way. I feel like he does not give his praises. I feel like more people should talk about how he should be fighting for champ status and how he should be the one to be the next GOAT in line, right behind Demetrius Johnson. Like, no one talks about Alexandre Pantoja in the flyweight division. I think Kai Kara-France, he's a good fighter. He's coming off that good win against Steve Erceg, but other than that, I feel like Kai Kara-France, his grappling isn't that great. He got choked out, I think, by guillotine against Brandon Royval. I feel like his grappling isn't that good. He gets a little skittish, so I feel like he's hesitant on a lot of grappling situations. On the feet, Kai Kara-France could easily knock out Pantoja, which I don't think anybody's knocking out Pantoja. He's got a chin of steel. Like, this dude is legit made out of, like, something insane. I think Kai Kara-France loses this fight. I think Alexandre Pantoja makes this a grappling fight. I think, honestly, Pantoja will have a 3-round war with Kai Kara-France. I bet in the first 2 rounds, Pantoja is going to be headhunting. Kai Kara-France is going to rock Pantoja a couple of times or hit him in the body a couple of times. In the second round, Kai Kara-France is going to look really good. And I'd be willing to bet in the 3rd round, Pantoja somehow gets some clinch situation happens, whether it's against a fence or he goes for a takedown, gets Kai Kara-France down. And Kai Kara-France is going to get caught in a submission super quick where he did not see it coming. Like, whether it was like a slick darce or a ninja choke or a guillotine, something where it's forward facing. And I bet he gets caught in a submission where he didn't even see it coming, because people are going to look at Kai Kara-France and be like, oh my God, he was beating Pantoja until he got caught. I'm willing to bet that's going to be the storyline for this fight. But either way, I think Pantoja wins this fight. I think he's an underrated fighter. He has a chin. His striking is not that bad. And, dude, his grappling, dude, he has arguably the best grappling in the flyweight division. Probably the best grappling in the flyweight division. He is a dog, a minus 265 favorite. I would put money on him to win. Also, Kai Kara-France, he's coming off of one win, which is the Steve Erceg win. Other than that, he lost to Amir Albazi. That was a close fight. It was a split decision loss, but that was close. And then, yeah, he got knocked out, TKO'd by Brandon Moreno with that in the 3rd round. Brandon Moreno threw that left kick, hit him in the body. That was right at the time, too, or might have been right before it during the whole James Krause situation. Pretty crazy. But Kai Kara-France does have good wins. Askar Askarov, that's the Russian guy that like disappeared out of the UFC. Cody Garbrandt, that was a good win. But other than that, I am choosing Alexandre Pantoja. Pantoja, man, Kai Asakura submitted him. The Steve Erceg was a good fight, but it showed Pantoja's grappling and his distance management. He is so good at closing the distance, suffocating you with the grappling, and making you work up to your feet and then trying to strike out of the grappling situation. The Pantoja versus Royval was a good win. Brandon Moreno was a good win. The Alex Perez was a good win. Pantoja is a just different animal, and I have him beating Kai Kara-France 3rd round submission, and I think he does it with easy work. Like, he catches him off guard. Now, for the main event, Ilia Topuria versus Charles the Bronx Oliveira. I am choosing, if you've already watched my video before this, I'm choosing Ilia Topuria to beat Charles Oliveira. I love Charles. I think he is a great fighter. He has a chin. He is wild. He is dangerous. But he also doesn't have a chin, and he's also wild, and he gets caught a lot. And he's not that calculated sometimes on the feet. And I feel like sometimes he gets a little skittish, like the Islam Makhachev fight where he was like kind of scared to like throw down. And when he did throw down, he got caught a lot and was willing just to stand there. And then he gets dropped and then submitted. Ilia Topuria is a calculated, smart IQ fighter. Every single fight, he hunts down his opponent. He marches them down. He's throwing body shots, combinations low and high, working the body of his opponent, and then finishing them off with some crazy sequence, whether it's like an overhand right, a left hook, left hook, finishes Max Holloway. He is just a dominator. If this fight goes to the ground, Charles Oliveira could pull something off crazy. Like, he was close to submitting Arman Tsarukyan with a guillotine if Arman didn't, try pulling his pants down. What was that? Arman's a little sus. But I think Charles, he has a good chance on the ground. He has a good chance on the feet to knock out or surprise Ilia, but it's very unlikely. On the ground, he has a better chance at beating Ilia, catching him in something. For me, Ilia is really good at recovering in bad situations. When you look at the Jai Herbert fight, for instance, when Ilia Topuria got dropped by a head kick, and then as he's getting dropped, he goes for the takedown, gets Jai Herbert down, and then finishes off the round with ground and pound, just shows you how good Topuria is. Even when he gets rocked, he's constantly fighting and going forward. When you go back and watch the Josh Emmett fight, Ilia Topuria would just overwhelm Josh, even though Josh has knockout power and is scary going forward. Ilia would just literally outbox him, go to the body, fight his less power side. God, I am tweaking. He would go to his non-power side and just beat Josh Emmett from that side. I think Ilia Topuria is a very smart fighter. He knows how to attack the weaknesses. The biggest thing that Charles has against him is the fact that he has a paper jaw. He gets dropped every single time. It feels like that's how he wins, is he gets dropped and then somebody gets in his guard or they let him back up and then he initiates real fast so they're not like ready. Charles gets dropped a lot, and I think if Ilia drops Charles, he will go to the ground and try and submit him just like how Islam did. And I think that's how Ilia Topuria beats Charles. I think Ilia Topuria is going to throw a lot of low kicks, try and get Charles in that weird teep stance, like that Muay Thai stance. And then the moment Ilia throws that leg kick and Charles raises that front leg up to block it, Ilia is going to go left to the body, overhand right, left uppercut, right hand, and then probably finish off with like a left hook. So like a 4-5 punch combination to finish Charles Oliveira, get him to the ground. Charles is going to be hurt, and then Ilia is going to jump in and mount. Probably same submission. I'm calling it now. Ilia Topuria is going to submit Charles Oliveira the exact same way that Islam Makhachev did it. I am calling it now. Head arm choke, arm triangle. I am calling it now. Ilia Topuria is going to submit Charles Oliveira. Third round. I think Charles Oliveira, he is a great fighter, but when you're fighting someone like Ilia Topuria, who is super calculated on the ground, has knockout power, has the Greco-Roman wrestling and BJJ black belt, I think it's going to be really hard to beat. Charles Oliveira has a chance he could surprise everybody, but it feels like every time Charles Oliveira is fighting someone with the equal amount of skill who has the grappling, he becomes too hesitant and then kind of loses the fight. We see that in the Arman Tsarukyan fight. We see that in the Islam Makhachev fight. We even see that parts in the Michael Chandler fight where Charles Oliveira is a little hesitant on the ground, or Michael Chandler defends a couple takedowns and then Charles Oliveira is low-key getting messed up, like in the 5th round. Yes, rounds 1 through 4, Charles Oliveira was messing up Chandler. But in the 5th round, Chandler was defending some takedowns and looked good. I'm going with Ilia Topuria to beat and submit Charles Oliveira the exact same way Islam Makhachev did it. I am calling it now. Ilia Topuria is going to throw a leg kick. Charles Oliveira is going to raise it up to block it, and Ilia is going left to the body, right overhook, left uppercut, right hand, left hook, drops Charles Oliveira, gets in the mount, submits him. I'm calling it now. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown, the main card picks. If you have, be sure to like, comment who you're picking on this main card, and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next video.